go on the internet today, people will blame failure of relationships on cheating. They'll blame it on money. They'll blame it on the internet, having options, all these different things. But it's actually really much, much deeper than that. So in this video, I'm going to talk about that and give you the blueprint to a healthy dating life, or if you are already in a relationship, how to be in a healthy relationship. So folks, you've been here in Grain to Train, and I coach a lot of high-level men, high-level athletes, nine-figure CEOs, NFL players, D1 college basketball, football players. I work with a lot of high-achieving individuals. It was interesting in my coaching, even though I'm not a relationship coach, a lot of our coaching calls always circle to some sort of relationship coaching. It's interesting to see because I get so many young guys who are trying to figure out women when they tell me they want to be married one day. Or I have older clients who are in marriage and they're trying to improve their marriage and they're trying to figure out how to not feel like roommates with, their wife. And it's just the whole thing. It always boils down to this. And they see how I am with my girlfriend and how amazing we are. And they ask me for advice. So I'm going to talk about this in this video today because many people, they look at just the surface level things. Again, if you go online, you see social media where they're always talking about exercising options. They're talking about money, like, she's cheated on this guy because he didn't make enough money. Or men, this is men. Men are made to, be fruitful and multiply and populate the world. You hear all these things online. The real reason why most relationships fail, it is unhealed trauma. Here's the thing. Here's what I was taught about relationships. My coach taught me this. He goes, relationships aren't here to make you happy. Relationships are here to show you where you need to ascend and grow in your life. And essentially what he was getting at is the person that you decide to date, you attracted them and chose them because subconsciously they're going to reflect back to you where you get to grow in life, whether that's, healing, poor relationship, with your parents, or unworthiness wounds, whatever that looks like for you, it's going to show up in the relationship. And some relationships are there just for the healing. They're not for you to be your forever person to get married to. Sometimes this person comes into your life and you go through this dynamic to get the lesson, and then you grow apart and you attract somebody who's more aligned with the new version of you. People don't look at it that way. They get relationships and they get attached. They don't want to get the lesson. They don't want to let go. They don't want to grow. They just try to force the honeymoon phase forever. And then when they don't get that, when they don't get their needs met in the relationship, instead of having the courage to leave, then they cheat. The needs aren't being met. There's a nervous system misalignment. One side is getting anxious, the other side is getting avoidant. And their trauma response is different. The avoidant starts to feel pressure. They start to feel overwhelmed. And they don't know how to communicate that, so they just start pulling their energy back and they want to run away. The anxious person is taking that as rejection, as unworthiness, and that wound showing up, so they try to do more things to make that person come back, come closer. Like, let me plan this date. Let me buy this gift. Let me cook this dinner. They do all these things, and it just makes the problem worse because there's misalignment. And also what happens is with this central nervous system misalignment is you can't even have healthy conversations because you're seeing the relationship from two different lenses. And instead of trying to understand each other, what happens is when you're unhealed is that you're speaking from ego. So now you're having two different conversations about the same subject, and it doesn't go anywhere. And you see that so much. And I see it so much on like coaching calls, and this disconnect in communication. I have to teach them, like, well, when this person says this is what they really mean. Or this what you're dealing with is this, and I have to kind of shed light on how they're being communicated to and how to interpret that, how they can move accordingly. So it's a crazy dynamic, and a lot of people are getting frustrated about it. There's a lot of podcasts that make a lot of money talking about these things in a not so healthy way. So I want to help fix that. And, in Grain to Train, I'm all about strength. My podcast is called Supernatural Strengths. And I'm not just talking about weight room strength. We have to get the inner world strong. So my fellas, listen to this. If you do these things I'm talking about in this video, you're going to have that inner strength that's going to make you a better leader. And it's going to make you a better leader in your relationship. And if you're a better leader in your relationship, guess what? It's probably going to carry over to your business, your job, game day. It carries over, but that person in front of us will be the ultimate test. But we got to get that inner world strong. So the first one is have to do the trauma work. You have to look at those wounds. Certain things that your girlfriend may say, if it triggers you, okay, you have to think back. When did I first feel that feeling? Now you can start to dissect and get to the root and change that story. So when she says certain things, it's not triggering you anymore, right? Because you reframed that story in the nervous system. You were able to heal that wound. In that process, I have other videos on that, so I won't go too deep on it here, but you have to go back and do the inner child work and subconscious reprogramming so that these triggers that are just giving you feedback, giving you a message where you can heal, right? Once you start to heal those, well, then you're going to go to my next tip is you're going to be able to regulate your nervous system better. Fellas, being able to regulate your nervous system is one of the best things that you can do as a leader in a relationship. When you are the leader, your team, your girlfriend, your wife, feed off of you. So if you're anxious, they're going to feel that, especially women. They're going to feel that. And if they feel your anxiety, they're not going to feel safe with you. And then you're getting your emotional up and down, matching her energy. Well, guess what? Now she's essentially dating another woman and she's trying to ground you. She has step in her masculine. They don't like that and they will leave. I've seen a lot of breakups happen because of that, where I've told guys like, hey, if you don't shift, if you don't start to do this, if you don't start to own your own time, give her some autonomy, learn how to not be so reactive, she's going to leave you. And they don't listen, and what happens? She leaves them. They're crying to me. And I'm like, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. So being able to regulate your nervous system is going to be so important. You want to be calm amongst the chaos. Because when you're calm amongst the chaos and you're not reacting to her emotions or her mood swings, her up and downs, that you're just calm and you listen out of curiosity, you can just validate the feelings and not try to fix the problem. Just hold space, be calm, be grounded, be indifferent, almost, think it's kind of cute. Like, oh, she's being a woman right now. I promise you, after she rides the wave, she's going to be more attracted to you. She's going to soften. She's going to feel safe with you. She's going to nurture you more. And you're going to really start to see the feminine blossom. But it can't fully blossom if you're chaotic. So that's central nervous system regulation. So my biggest tip right now, you feel your nervous system getting worked up and you kind of want to fight before you react, just break the pattern by taking a nice deep breath with a slow exhale. So gotta give yourself a little bit of space to give it some time for mood, to not be so reaction, kind of shift the mood a little bit, to remain calm and lead the interaction the way that it should be led. And then the third one is structure. Man, we got to provide structure. Feminine energy is chaos. It is chaos. So if you're chaotic with her, there's no structure. And I don't care how much you love a person, love without structure and boundaries is chaos and toxicity. And that's not how you're going to have a healthy relationship. But as the man, you have to set the boundaries. You have to enforce the boundaries. You have to take ownership of the relationship. Be the structure. When you can do that, when you can provide the structure, when you see things around the house that need to be taken care of, and you just go ahead and do it, where she doesn't have to think about it, right? You're providing that safe space. You're providing that structure. And you're also providing the standard, like how things are done in your household or how things are done in your presence. As you lead yourself and you provide that structure, and you're not afraid to enforce boundaries, because women will test your boundaries to see if you're going to stand on business, because she wants to feel safe. And if you're afraid to stand on business with her, she's going to say he's afraid to stand on business with everybody else too. So therefore, he's not safe. He is weak. So when you can do these things, you can provide the structure and lead yourself. I promise you, you're going to have such an amazing relationship, or you're going to have much better success if you're single with dating, because you're going to attract, you're going to choose better quality women. You're going to have that aura about you that's so magnetic. And here is just something feels different about you. I've heard that so many times over the years, right? So that's the key. And that's what relationships fail, because they lack those things. And the reason why it's lacking is because it's hard. It's very hard, especially when your nervous system is unregulated, when you have a lot of traumas, you haven't done the work. These things are very hard to do. It's hard to sit with your feelings. It's hard to look at your past traumas. It's hard to let the ego go and that need to feel right when you are triggered, when you are in the fire, in the storm, in the pits, in the chaos. It's very hard. But the strongest men I know can remain calm amongst the chaos. The strongest men I know can do this inner work. The strongest men that I know can hold space and not react every time the woman is emotional. The strongest men I know stand on business, and they stand on their boundaries, and they're unapologetic about it. That's real strength. It's not about how much you can bench press, how much you can deadlift. That stuff is good to have, but trust me, the inner strength is so important if you want to be respected, if you want to be a leader, if you want your woman to submit to your lead. You have to be somebody worth following. And if your inner game is weak, I don't care how much money you make, I don't care how much you bench press, you will not have long-term success in any relationship with a woman, period. So if you want to know more about the inner strength, having supernatural strength, click on the link below. Enter my school community. We go deeper on these topics. We tie it into scripture so you can lead how you were born to lead. It's all within you. We just have to tap into it. And the blueprint's right there. We talk about that. We go deep, live Q&A. You want to join the movement? A lot of good things going on in there. So click the link below. If you got value out of this video, like, comment, please share with your people. Somebody needs to hear this message. Till next time, check it out.